Very important tips about stillness within. How to tap to that. Before I came to Islam, I went through different religions, different meditations, different prayer, different approaches, different mantras. It's actually a process of instilling yourself, process of opening up your heart. And there's many great tools to be used to instill yourself. For example, for years I get meditate, but I completely had no access to heart, to that stillness, to that openness which allow me to observe conditions of my mind. And there was millions of them. Those conditions are in everyone and each of us. They simply causing dysfunction. They may cause future illnesses. They may cause anger, hatred, jealousy, pride, envy. All those complications of the life, they're just coming to the surface of the mind, and you have problem because you identifying with conditions of your mind from the past. And how to access it. For example, it is not easy practice because once you go astray, once you create millions of those conditions in your mind, this is like soup of clouds which coming to the surface here and there, and you really cannot recognize and have problem with knowing what's going on with you at any time of the moment. Let's say, for example, in the morning, I wake up, I walk, I do little things, and suddenly I getting very sleepy. I need to go sleep again. Some clouds coming out to my mind, like maybe deprivation of sleep for a long period of time, which I did. And this, what this cause, it's create and arouse some stains, some imprints inside. So your mind have certain behaviors, certain conditions which coming to the surface, and you experiencing that hardship of different kinds. It can be sleep, it can be some different habits, needs to taking drugs, to taking alcohol, to whatever. When we did those things for a long period of time, this can be abusive behaviors. This have like energy in us. That energy have to decrease and free itself in order for us to function well, to be functional human being, to remove that dysfunction. And how I did this for last many years. I started from prayers, meditations, mantras. I did this sometimes for entire days, but I had no access to inside. But when I became Muslim 7 years ago, I established regular prayer 5 times a day. I started pray. I keep coming back to that heart, and that actually strong, like in army, routine started shaping, changing things inside, started removing those hostile things inside, because as there was many hostile things inside. They act simply against you, like they was heading to destroy the host, the human being which holding those conditions from the past, recorded informations, energies, and whatever, many of those. So I started praying 5 times a day. Together with this, I did fasting. Fasting allow you to like be excluded from those, for amount of time you fasting, excluding from those bombardments of the mind, those imprints. They are like at the moment when you fasting hidden, they have no access to you. You are like in deep yourself, deep self. But as well, there is reading the Quran, scriptures. What this does really? There is sound vibration to that, and there are words which you read. But what I discover over the time, I keep reading this since now 7 years, and I'm doing this longer and longer because I understanding what this does. I just putting myself in some peaceful place. For example, in my bed. I take that mobile phone and I read. I read for half an hour, 1 hour. And what this does, slowly there is less and less thinking, and over the time, your heart like open, those thoughts have no access to you. You are in that silent watcher where there is no really thoughts, where you can have those long gaps. When you have those long gaps, suddenly some uncomfortable feeling arising in you. Let's say need for sleep. It is arising in forms of energy. And when you are in that silent watcher, you still and only like separate things coming to the surface. You are able to watch them. You are able to know at this moment I feel very sleepy. Something starting terrorizing me from the mind. And you see that formations, that energy. You read Quran, you instilling yourself, you reading, you hearing, and you like focusing on that thing which appearing in you, arising in you. And this slowly losing its energy. And when you're doing this for a longer period of time, there is chance it will be like lose completely grip over you. It lose energy completely, and suddenly you feel great relief. This can be sleep, this can be part of anger, this can be problem which in future will bring you illness, something in the belly, some energy, some pain, some discomfort, whatever. We got this inner body, inner mind filled with those energetic stains which have to be observed through exposure to long, let's say, reading Quran, hearing Quran. This can be any other book, any other holy book. When you're doing this, can be Bible. Quran have another level because it is recited. So you indulging your senses into focusing on that one activities, and that one activities purifying really you, instilling you to such a degree that there is almost no movement in the mind. You laying in your bed, for example, and nothing happening. There is silence. And in that silence, every some time, your mind have to reject something. Your mind have to bring something to the surface. And in that very moment, you are able to observe those things. When you're observing those things, they losing energy. They will losing the game. You're feeling better and better, greater and better, greater. You are more empty inside. Creating more gaps and spaces inside. So you can observe more and more mind. You're creating that pure space inside. They're talking about that pure space, allowing you to observe and taking the bigger things on the board, to dismantle yourself from that chaos you created inside. That's what I'm passing to you and what I learn. How to dismantle your conditions, dysfunction. What this meditation prayer is for, to teach you how to be and observe from inside what you gather inside, those conditions, mind patterns, habits. Salam alaikum.